Hi everybody, this is study guide number 2 or number 1, depending on which one you did first. We have one study guide that is meant to help you get ready for the open-ended portion of the test. This one is specifically meant to help you get ready for the multiple choice part. So the multiple choice questions tomorrow will look very similar to this set. So if we do well on this set, it predicts hopefully a nice score, a good score on tomorrow's multiple choice section. So taking a look at number 1, it says to estimate the solution of the linear system graphically. So this is going to be an estimate. We're not actually asked to calculate. When we have graphs, one strategy is to see if we can have both of these in y equals mx plus b and then reason on the graph. This one is all set, but this one is not. So I'll bring it over here, x plus y equals 1. To solve this for y, we will subtract x from both sides. This gets us y equals negative x plus 1. What can we reason? So I'm going to put in a box the two equations we're working with. This has a positive slope, so I know I'm going to have an increasing line. This has a negative slope, so a decreasing line. So my graph has to have one increasing, one decreasing. Based on that alone, is there a choice we can get rid of? This has one increasing, one decreasing. How about choice B? These are both decreasing, so B is out. Our increasing line, 2x minus 8, where is the y-intercept? B equals negative 8. Are there any graphs that do not have an increasing line passing through negative 8? Increasing, that looks like it could be negative 8. Increasing, this looks like it could be negative 8. But check out choice D. There is no line anywhere near going through negative 8. So right away we can cross off choice D as well. The y-intercept for this line is at a positive 1. So now we're at 50-50. We're down to choice A or choice C. Look at where this one crosses. This could be 1. But if I look at choice A, that's clearly going through the origin. So we have eliminated choice A, only leaving the possibility of answer C. So just by knowing information about increasing and decreasing and where the y-intercepts are, we are able to use our reasoning and get to choice C. Number 2 says solve the system. I see that these are both set equal to y equals y equals. So if you want to, go through substitution, solve, first sub, second sub, or realize at this point that if they are both solved for y, we can actually just set them equal and go and solve. So what I mean by that is 3x minus 2 equals 4x. We need to gather all of our x's to one side. If you notice, x is practically by itself over here, so we'll subtract 3x over. I get negative 2 equals x. It just so happens that when we did 4x minus 3x, I get 1x by itself. If this ended up being like 2x or 8x, we would have needed to keep going. Just from x being negative 2, are there ones we can cross off? Well, this does not have an x value of negative 2. Neither does this one. I got a value, so it's not infinitely many. So just by process of elimination in this case, I think it's choice C, but we can prove it to ourselves by going and finding the y value. So plugging in negative 2, I get y equals negative 8, and now I'm 100% sure that my answer is C. Number 3 says solve the system. The very first observation I make is that this one is already solved for y. That screams substitution to me. So solve. Well, that's been done for me. The second equation is already solved for y. Next will be first sub. So we've got x minus 2y equals negative 8. And now we need to ask ourselves, do we have something to, I'm going to move this over. Do we have something to sub in for x or for y? Just for space sake, I'm going to put this up here. So if I ask myself, is this solved for x or y? I notice that under the solve step, it says y equals. So I know that I have something to plug in for y. Notice right here, y equals. So where I see y, that's where we're going to do our substitution. Housekeeping, move over a little bit. That way you have space. And now inside parentheses, we will substitute in negative x minus 2. And then equals negative 8 is still here. This entire equation is in terms of x. Let's solve for it. Distribute negative 2. We get x plus 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2. Add 4 equals negative 8. We'll combine like terms. X plus 2x is 3x. Plus 4 equals negative 8. Minus 4 minus 4. Keep the line going down our equal sign. That gets us 3x equals negative 12. We'll wrap this up by dividing both sides by 3. X equals negative 4. Process of elimination, only one has x equal to negative 4. But just in case we made a mistake, you should really make sure you go find the y value and make sure that we match. So for second sub, this is already solved for y. Negative x minus 2. That becomes negative 4 minus 2. Positive 4 minus 2. Y equals 2, and we match. It could also be that process of elimination, you narrow it down to two choices, like this is negative 4 comma 2, and maybe this was negative 4 comma something else, and then your second sub would determine which is the right answer. Moving on to number 4, determine the solution. I notice that this is in standard form, so right away I know that I will use elimination. I check, and these are not inverses because they're both negative, but this is. So straight away, line down, line across, let's add. The 3 y's cancel. We get negative 10x equals 13 minus 23 is negative 10. Divide by negative 10. Divide by negative 10. And I get x equals 1. Process of elimination. Oh, cross off the wrong one. Oh, I can only cross off 1. Notice that. All of these have an x value of 1. So we only knocked out one answer. Let's very carefully go back and substitute into one of our original equations to wrap this up. So this is negative 5 times 1 plus 3y equals negative 23. Negative 5 plus 3y equals negative 23. Add 5. Add 5. We get 3y equals negative 18. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Y equals negative 6. So based on that, what's the right answer? I'm looking for a solution of 1, negative 6. Choice B. Number 5. Solve the system. Standard form, we will use elimination. Make a choice. Do you want x's to cancel or y's to cancel? I think I'll choose x's, so I'll multiply this top equation by 6. If you wanted y's to cancel, also just as nice because you have the positive-negative relationship, you just would have multiplied your second equation by 5 to get a positive 5y and a negative 5y. So we should get the same answer. My top equation becomes 6x plus 30y equals negative 22 times 6 is negative 132. My second equation will be negative 6x minus y. We didn't touch this one, so leave it alone. Line across, line down. My x's cancel. I get a 29y equals 132 minus 16 is a negative 116. Divide by 29. Divide by 29. And we get y equals negative 4. So this one's out because I got negative 4. That could be out, out. So again, I've narrowed it down to B, but I really want to double check before I commit to that being my answer. So let's still go find the x value. So x plus 5 times negative 4 equals negative 22. That's x minus 20 equals negative 22. Add 20, add 20. That gets us x equals negative 2. So the solution that I'm thinking is negative 2 comma negative 4, and if I take a look, that is choice B. So 5 is B. Number 6, determine if the system has no solution, one solution, or many. Let's check this out. If I want to work on the x's canceling, I'm going to have to work to a positive and negative 16, which would mean multiplying both equations. Too much work, because when I look at the y values, there's a positive 4y. I can get this to be a negative 4y by just multiplying by positive 4. So that's what I choose to do. If you got your x's to cancel, no problem. We should get the same result. So that's what my top equation becomes. The bottom equation, I didn't touch that, so that just comes down. Line down, line across. 8x minus 8x is 0. Oh, but check this out. The y's cancel too. So I've just got 0 on the left. On the right, 32 minus 32, that is also 0. 0 equals 0, true or false? I hope everybody right now is saying true. If I get a true statement, that means I've got the same line. Same line, infinitely many solutions. So my answer is D. If this had come out false, like 0 equals 10, that's what no solution would be if it was a false statement. So be careful on that. You don't want to do all this work and then mix up true and false. False would be something like 0 equals 10. 7 through 10 is really relying on your vocab knowledge. These questions will be on the test tomorrow. So if you are watching this video, good job, because you now know 4 of the test questions. Number 7, given a line. So draw a line, so we have a picture. A solution is an ordered pair on the line. So it's not an ordered pair not on the line. Can't be A. Ordered pair where the 2 lines intersect. We only have 1 line. We don't even have 2 lines to talk about that yet. And then we have choice C, which is correct. D doesn't really make sense. The answer you get when you calculate the x value, because that's just an x value. Where's the y value? So it has to be C. Given a system, so let's sketch a system. If I asked you where the solution was, I'm hoping you'd tell me right here, where the 2 lines intersect. So an ordered pair that is not on the lines would be like somewhere over here. That's definitely not the solution. It's not on anything. Ordered pair where the 2 lines intersect, that sounds good, so I'll temporarily mark that as the answer. Ordered pair that is on the lines. It's not really specific enough. Which lines? Is it on this one, or both? Saying it's where they intersect is an exact point. And again, D still doesn't make any sense. Number 9, solving, so just to stress for emphasis, okay? Solution when I have a single line is any point on the line. For a system, of linear equations, it has to be point of intersection. Only that single point is correct. It's not any point, it's just this single point of intersection. Okay, last two. Solving a system of linear equations that results in blank means parallel. Parallel comes from false statements. False statements are connected to no solution. All of that vocab has to deal with parallel lines. If lines intersect, so if it helps, draw yourself a picture. If lines intersect, we have an ordered pair. So that's not no solution, because no solution is parallel. And it's not infinitely many, because that's when they're the same line. C is my one solution, x comma y. All of the above is impossible. Lines cannot be parallel, the same line, and one solution. Not possible. Any questions on the vocab, please send me a quick note on Remind. I will be checking until about 11. So any questions before 11, I will get back to you. Happy studying. Study hard.